Hi! Hey guys, it's Lizzie. So I am live streaming right now. The last time I live streamed was in 2013, so I actually don't recognize anything I'm looking at right now. But I'm gonna tweet this out. Ugh, how do you tweet it out? You can fast forward if you're watching this later. The first minute is probably gonna be me failing at technology. Okay. Oh my gosh, people, hi, yours truly, Chris. Okay, there's this person on my YouTube channel. On every single video, the first comment, without fail, the first shall be last. And so I have a lot of questions about this person. Like, how do you always find my videos first? And why do you always put that? Like, what does it mean? The first shall be last. Okay. Hey, Lizzie, Manuel, you're actually fourth. You're not first. Sorry to. Okay, I'm so excited. John Hard. Hi, Lizzie. Thank you for helping me grow my faith. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Hope. Hi. This is so entertaining. I'm not doing anything. So, guys, I'm in Florida right now. In the middle of Florida. I had my first ever acting job today. They flew me out for it. It's a really small role, but it was so fun. So we can talk about that. And we can talk about Catholicism because I was at the Theology of the Body conference this past week. And so I had an interesting experience. We can talk about that. Okay. You have an interesting variety of American. Where are you from? I was born in Kentucky, lived there 2 weeks. Then I went to Russia because my parents were missionaries there. Then when I was 4, we moved back to the US. We lived in Ohio for 5 years, Indiana for 5 years, Florida for 5 years. Then I went to California for college. Now I live in LA. Okay. My queen, JK, that's Mary Annie. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay. Do you like unicorns? No, but my best friend Nicole does. So anytime I see unicorns, I think of her. Is gender real? I was so confused when she published with the title. Okay, I've been thinking about gender so much lately, guys, because I was at this Catholic conference and a huge part of it was talking about how women's bodies don't make sense without men's bodies don't make sense without women's bodies. But it went beyond that, and it was saying like women don't make sense without men don't make sense without women, complementarianism. And I genuinely, like, guys, help me understand this, but growing up, my parents, they both identified as feminist, which today feminism kind of means something different than it did like 30 years ago. But both of my parents are very like equal in the relationship. My dad wasn't the spiritual leader or the leader. They're just equal. And so there's no difference between like father role and mother role. My dad was a stay-at-home dad for 5 years. Then my mom was a stay-at-home mom for 5 years. Then they both worked. So, like, I don't know. I just don't understand why gender roles are so focused on. Because I think everyone's just an individual, right? Like, I don't really relate to gender roles. Anyone else? Like, okay. How is your summer? Oh my gosh. It's been crazy. I've traveled to like a different city every week. So much traveling, so many airplanes. So, yeah, I was in like Boston, New York, DC, Philadelphia, Florida, and I'm flying back to Nashville tomorrow night. Will you show us the acting thing? Yeah, okay. So it's actually with a Catholic company and it's theological. Sorry the lighting is so bad, guys. Wow. It's just really dark in this hotel room. And it's raining, typical Florida, so sorry about the noise. But yeah, I will totally promote it and show it to you guys. I haven't read the whole script, just the script for my episode, but it's very depth and it's very professional. Like, it was so intense. We had to redo everything like 100 times to get it perfect. I hope that I'm early. Diamond, yeah, I just started. Nothing that much depth has been discussed. Do you pray the rosary? Yeah, I probably pray the rosary at least once a week. I'd say most of my prayer life is pretty impromptu. I pray the Our Father a lot as well, but praying the actual rosary and going through the mysteries, it takes like 15, 20, or 30 minutes. So like I'll have on my phone like the Bible verse for each decade and I'll read that and then pray each part. So it's kind of like reading the Bible. That was the craziest thing because I always thought the rosary was just focusing on Mary, but each part, it's like visually living through part of the Bible, because you have to read a huge part of the Bible for each part of the rosary. So I learned to pray with like my Bible study at my church. Okay, Indiana. Yeah, I lived in Terre Haute, which I really loved it there actually. How was the Theology of the Body conference? Christopher West has so much energy, amazing speaker, so passionate. Everyone loved it so much. I personally, I didn't really relate to it because he used a lot of pop culture references. And I'm a missionaries kid and I don't watch TV that much. We didn't have TV or internet in my house growing up. We only really read books and we would talk about like theology, philosophy, history. Like both my parents went to grad school for theology. My dad's a history professor. So my family only connects talking about ideas. So like politics, theology, that's like my family. So he would quote a lot of like movies or TV shows or music that I had literally never heard of in my life and then use that as an example. And so everyone would be laughing. And I was just like, what's going on? So I was so confused with the pop culture references. I'm a Catholic girl and I love your videos. And I've been so wanting to ask you if you could make a video on Jehovah's Witness, Alicia. I actually recently picked up one of their magazines because I wanted to make a video on it. So I probably will in the future. But I feel like Jehovah's Witnesses arguments are not that persuasive to me. So I'm not that interested in it. So, I mean, I would make a video about Gnosticism before I would about Jehovah's Witness. There is no gender in the spiritual world. No, I think there's genders in heaven, right? Greetings from Minnesota. Hi, Will. Arizona. I've been to your airport. I like it. What's the last movie you watched, Giovanni? Okay. So the Augustine Institute mailed me a movie on the Eucharist, and Trevor and I watched it together. So I don't know what it was called. I should probably help promote it. I don't know, but it was from the Augustine Institute, and it's a new movie on the Eucharist. I really recommend. It was so well edited. It was beautiful. Have you ever been to Med Jude Gorge Trademark? I don't know what that is. My dad is definitely not the boss, LOL. Yeah, my mom is so assertive. Like, she's in charge of all the money in our household. What do you think of transgender? So gender dysphoria is a real medical diagnosis. It's in the DSM. So the DSM is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Illness. So just like how bipolar is real, gender dysphoria is real. So there are real people born who have extreme anxiety towards their body parts. So like, for example, if I had gender dysphoria, I would feel so much anxiety and hate like my boobs and like my genitalia and stuff. And they have a really high suicide rate, 40% suicide rate. Teens who have gender dysphoria, 50% will attempt suicide before their 18th birthday. I made a video about gender dysphoria with someone who has gender dysphoria, who's also a YouTuber. So if you look up Lizzie's Answers Gender Dysphoria or Lizzie's Answers Transgender, that video will come up. And I made it with someone who has it because I think when we're talking about issues where a minority of the country is dealing with it, we have to let those voices speak. So any issue like racism, sexism, anything going on in the country, we have to let the minority voices speak. So I'm actually making a video soon with people any part of the LGBTQ spectrum. I'm going to have a video where I interview people and they can just talk. Because I feel like as someone who is cisgender, straight, you know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't be the one. Those people should get to talk the most about it. Manuel, can I be last? Please try to pronounce it John Hard. Sorry. Your videos are touching a new... Oh my gosh, I lost it. Oh my gosh, nice nail polish. Yeah! I started getting gel nails done because it's so much easier because you can just get it done and they last for 3 weeks and you don't have to deal with it. Saves so much time. It's worth it. How do you like DC? Oh my gosh, I love DC. I saw Catholic University of America and they have a giant, not cathedral, basilica. Oh my gosh, you could spend like 5 hours looking at all the Catholic art. I was And I met one of my subscribers who's like OG, like has been watching my videos since like forever ago. So we met up and like looked at all the art together and then went to mass together. So I had a great time. And I saw the what is it called? The cathedral. So like where the bishops are. I went to mass there. Do you have any saints you have special devotions to? My patron saint is Irenaeus, and I pray to him. And I don't know. I don't pray impulsively to saints that often. I should probably like get into that more, but currently I have a lot of books I'm reading on the early church, and I'm trying to read through all the Catholic books of the Bible. So like books of the Bible were cut out during the Protestant Reformation. So my Bible growing up did not include like all these other books that were part of the Bible for the entire history of Christianity. So I'm reading through all of that because I've never read it before. So that's kind of what my focus is right now. And then maybe like a year from now when I read all of that, then I can start like researching saints more. But it's like, it's kind of overwhelming because there's 2,000 years of Christian history I have to learn. And I'm not going to just learn that in like a year or a few months, you know? Are Jehovah's Witnesses are Arian? Yeah, I used to be Arian too. Arianism is when you think Jesus is not fully God. Yeah, my family kind of thought that growing up. Oh my gosh, you hear the thunder? Wild. Okay. Any plans for pilgrimages or mission trips? Yeah, I might go to Rome next year. I'm planning a trip with my friends and with Trevor. Hopefully we go next spring. Do you think being transgender is a sin? No. Okay, let me clarify. If you're born with gender dysphoria, that'd be like saying, is it a sin to be born with bipolar disorder? Or is it a sin to be born male? Or is it a sin to be born with blonde hair? Like, you can't change if you have gender dysphoria. So that's not a sin. So the question is if you transition or not. So the Catholic Church does not want people to transition who have gender dysphoria, but having gender dysphoria, there's nothing wrong with it because you're just born like that. God loves your soul, not your body. Okay, that's so Gnostic. Like, God loves the soul and body. Identity is both. When we resurrect, we're going to bodily resurrect because body is a part of identity. What are your views on the Eastern Rite Catholicism? As a person who had an interest in Orthodoxy. Hi, Rachel. I would attend a Byzantine Catholic church, but there's not one anywhere near me. And I'm in Nashville for most of the summer. There's not one anywhere near there. So in the future, hopefully, I live in a place where there's a Byzantine parish, and I'll just go to that. Is playing video games a sin? No. What's the deal with you guys? It's different things a sin. Anything can be a sin in the way you use it. Do you guys hear that? Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be eating. I ordered food. Guys, so like I'm in the middle of Florida and it's not vegan friendly. So I was on like Uber Eats. No. So this is what happened. So I was trying to order food and Uber Eats and what is the other app? There's so many apps for delivering food. So Uber Eats and Postmates do not work in this area. So I was Googling like what are other food delivery apps? Grubhub works. And then it took like 30 minutes to find vegan options. But I did. I prevailed. This is like kale, spinach, rice. So much rice. Guacamole. Salsa. And I don't know what else. Alec from Alaska. What is it like to live in Alaska? Enlighten us. When I was a senior at Pepperdine, I really wanted to live in Alaska. St. Anthony is honestly my life story. It's so scary. You lived in Terre Haute. I was born and raised there. Do we know each other? I lived there from 2003 to 2008. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Sterling. Do you believe that during confirmation we don't choose the saint, but the saint actually picks us? I don't know. I believe that there's free will and determinism. So in philosophy, there's something called compatibilism, which is God determining things divinely and complete free will. It's called compatibilism, so it's both. Where like the saint chooses you or God chooses your saint and you choose it together. That's what most philosophy professors believe in. Like most scholars, most theologians believe in compatibilism. So I do too. That was so loud. The world is beautiful 9. Oh, hi. I know you watch my videos for so long. I always recognize your comments. We're also dedicated. We're literally watching you eat. Oh my gosh, guys. So I was in Pennsylvania for this retreat. And if you go to the Theology of the Body conference, just a warning, bring your own food if you're vegan, because they had vegan options, but it was like, here's a veggie burger made of vegetables. Like it wasn't enough calories. Like it was like potatoes and vegetables and bananas and apples. So it was basically like my week. So I'm starving. Like I'm gonna be binging on food for the next week to like recover from all the calories I lost. Living in the tiny Faroe Islands with only one Catholic church, would you move to that place in order to fulfill the Sunday obligation? I would drive 10 hours if I needed to fulfill my Sunday obligation. I think it's really important going to Mass every week and taking the Eucharist. I think it has a real, tangible spiritual impact on you. And it's really important to go to Mass every week. Hopefully more. I'm so happy you're Catholic, Lizzie. I really am. The missionary for Christ. Me too. Is it hard to go vegetarian? I think it's pretty easy to go vegetarian. I didn't have any problem being vegetarian, but I did being vegan. It's really hard because you have to figure out how to make different types of meals. So like most people eat pizza, burgers, sandwiches, and so instead you have to eat like rice a lot and pasta, and you know what I mean? Like you can't eat like Western diet, typical American food. You have to eat like more Asian or more like Mexican type. So it's different. Alaska is amazing and beautiful, although it's dark 9 out of the 12 months. That's wild. The whole nature and majestic scenery is worth it, especially in the summer. I know. I want to travel there. Like I've seen pictures. It's so beautiful. Terre Haute just lost its Macy's. I'm so sad. I like Macy's. They have like the best sales. Like when I was at Pepperdine, I got a like for a formal dress that had gone down from $200 to $7. And also Megan and Liz have like a line there. They used to. And I love Megan and Liz. They're like these YouTube musicians. I've been following them since like 2009 or something. Lizzie, if somebody is gay and wants to be straight, what advice would you give as a Catholic? So I believe sexuality is on a spectrum. So there are some people who are born straight. There are some people who are born gay. There are some people who are born bisexual. And then everything is like on a spectrum. So I think some people are born gay and they're never going to be attracted to someone of the opposite gender ever. Like that's who they are. That's how you're born. It's kind of like how, I'm not comparing it to mental illness, but like I was born with bipolar disorder and that's just like how I was created. And there's like nothing I can do to change that. So if you want to be straight, I mean, are you bisexual? Like that's possible. Like I said, it's like a spectrum. So maybe you like the Kinsey sexuality scale. That's what I'm referring to. But I mean, if you're gay and not bi, then that might never happen. I mean, yeah, so you may not be able to change it. I mean, like the conversion therapy for people who are gay, that's just proven like very unsuccessful and just led people to kill themselves. So I wouldn't focus on trying to change it necessarily because I think that could be like really detrimental to your mental health. Whoa, I lost all these. God kept sending me Saint Anthony and gets my attention to see or think something about him. That's so cool. I wish I had a closer relationship to different saints. I prayed to Irenaeus so much this past week, though, because I felt really lonely and crazy and confused. So I was like, my patron saint is there with me, and we can hang out. Like, I just spent a lot of time just, like, reading, like, Against Heresies. And I was like, I'm eating lunch and just chilling with my patron saint. It was comforting. Denise, you inspired me to convert into Catholicism, but I'm worried and confused. It's now a modern pagan religion. No, it's not pagan. Like, Google the definition of pagan. It's not pagan. Okay, so the Fellowship of the Saints in Catholicism, it's the idea that because Jesus resurrected, and he also said we will resurrect, people are in heaven right now. So, like, the way I think about it is that the way I pray is very, like, intercessional. So, like, if one of my friends is going through something, they'll be like, oh my gosh, Liz, can you pray for me? And I'll pray for them. And same, like, if I'm going through something, my go-to is to, like, text my best friends and be like, pray for this, or, like, tell my parents, pray for this. So it's the same idea where, like, people in heaven, like, once someone dies, it's not like they're dead, like, they're in heaven or purgatory. But you know what I mean? So it's like they're still alive. So it's the same idea where you're just asking them to pray for you to God. Interesting story. So at the Theology of the Body conference, Christopher West was a speaker, and he said that his spiritual mentor had a spiritual mentor named Padre Pio, who was this famous Catholic guy who's a saint who's in heaven now. So Christopher was asking his mentor, who is your spiritual mentor now that Padre Pio is dead? And his spiritual mentor is like, Padre Pio, because Padre Pio died, but he's still alive in heaven. So he's still like his spiritual leader, you know? So I don't know if that helps you. And there are people here of Christ wanting me to leave the Catholic Church. How do you suggest I can stand my ground? So I made a video recently on 10 reasons why Sola Scriptura is objectively wrong. You can start there. But sorry, that was so blunt. I stopped believing in Sola Scriptura like 3 years before I ever considered becoming Catholic, because I just realized it was wrong. Like, as a Protestant, I was just like, this is wrong. Same with Sola Fide. It's so obvious to me. But basically, the Bible, the canon was not established. The New Testament was not the Bible until the 4th century. So before that, the church existed without officially the Bible. So the church created the Bible. But watch my Sola Scriptura video. And also I have a video like Bible verses that prove Catholicism. That's pretty much covers it. But just study church history. I am Mormon, but you make the Catholic Church sound amazing. Come be Catholic. Okay, here's the thing. I have a lot of respect for Joseph Smith, especially because I'm pretty sure he's bipolar. So I feel like a connection, you know? So there's this document called the Didache, which is one of the earliest documents outside of the Bible compiled by the apostles. So it did not exist when Joseph Smith was alive. So Joseph Smith was trying to restore the early church. If he had access to the Didache, I am so confident he would have just become Catholic. So think about that. You have the Didache now, and you can become Catholic, what Joseph Smith would have done. Okay. Been an atheist about 5 years, and I just became Protestant Christian yesterday. My main issue with the gospel is that God has power over sin, so why did he even have to sacrifice Jesus? One of two. Jamie, I think Jesus died on the cross to forgive sins. But also, a part of Jesus coming into the world was to show us how to be human. So we are like to model his life. So it's an open question. Like when I was Protestant, I remember having conversations with people and like with my parents, like, did Jesus have to die? And there's some Protestant Christians who think that the reason he died was so that as humans we can tangibly like feel forgiven. But as a Catholic, I believe like he had to die. So like in the Old Testament, they would do like sacrifices, like to forgive their sins. And so then Jesus is the new sacrifice. So I recommend just reading the book of Hebrews. It explains it really well. Romans as well. Read Hebrews and Romans and you'll be like on it theologically. What do you think of our Pope? I love Pope Francis. I think he's amazing. I respect church authority so much. You would love it here in Alaska, depending on where you came and visit. Alaska weather sounds like something I would love. Gregory, it sounds so fun. My husband doesn't want to be Catholic, but I do. Just pray for him. I think prayer is very effective, more than anything else. Do you think your parents will ever convert into Catholicism? They're very rational people, so I think it's possible. Like, I pray for it sometimes, but it's unlikely. But this is like a smoothie. It's so freaking good. It's like almonds, cacao, dates, bananas. You guys want to like smell it or something? Do you think your parents? Oh, okay. If you could only go to one Catholic parish for the rest of your life, which would you choose? I don't know. Probably like a Byzantine Catholic one. I love that you are eating right now. Yeah, because we're just like hanging out, you know? I have a Virgin Mary statue. Trevor does too. I really like it. Saints are more alive than people on earth are. Exactly. Yeah, they're like resurrected. So yeah, they're totally more alive. You're making zero sense. Isn't the live stream about gender? Guys, how do you not know by now that all of my titles are clickbait? Like, I want to talk about gender in the live stream, and I talked about it earlier. So like, it's something we're going to discuss. Like, people have asked me questions about gender dysphoria and homosexuality. So I feel like we're definitely talking about that. You may have missed the part. Gender is real. It is either male or female. What happened to talking about gender? Okay, I'll talk about gender. Okay. So here's my thoughts on gender. So at this Theology of the Body conference, it was very much like male and female complementarianism. So I've done a lot of research into gender, and there are objective hormonal differences, brain differences. But the thing is, with some of the brain differences, it's not like 100% of women are this, 100% of men are this, but it's like 90 or 85% of women's brain are like this, and then there's like 10% that are kind of like male. And same with male, where like 90% will be like this. And I'm not even talking about gender dysphoria or people who are transgender. I'm talking about people like me. I personally do not relate to being feminine. Growing up, all of my friends were guys. In school, like when we moved to Indiana, my mom asked my teacher to sit me next to a girl so I could be friends with someone who was a girl. And I remember vivid memory when I was 8, looking into the mirror and like wondering, like, am I a guy? Like, I don't feel like a girl, like, because I didn't relate to being a girl. Like in high school, my debate event was like 95% guys were in Lincoln Douglas debate. My debate event was like mostly guys. Same with my major in college, philosophy, mostly guys. I'm very combative, very assertive, very alpha, I'm the leader. Like, that's just how I am. And so the thing too is that like 90% of the people in my life do not fit into gender roles. So for example, one of my guy friends, he, like him and his girlfriend, he cooks the most. He's the more like emotional, like more emotionally aware person. And I'd say like most of my friends who are female are very like more logical than feeling. And then I have guy friends who want to be stay-at-home dads. So everyone is a mix of things, and I don't understand why we focus so much on these differences. If there are like really big biological differences, then people will naturally be feminine and naturally be masculine, and then everyone else can do whatever they want. So I guess my question is, why do we have to make these huge distinctions? I think people should just be people, and I know I personally have felt kind of like pushed down throughout life because like in my church growing up, women were not allowed to do like speaking roles or like leadership. And that's like where I like flourish, like that's where I'm gifted. So I don't know. I just think if we talked about gender less and like just people be people, people would be able to flourish in whichever way they're talented. So what do you think about being a consecrated virgin? I've never had sex in my life, and I will never have sex unless I get married. So I think being celibate is really great. I think sexuality is not a big part of identity at all because I've never had sex but am fully a person, fully alive, fully flourishing. So, I mean, I would not mind if I never got married. I've been single most of my life. I don't necessarily prefer being in relationships over being single. I think being single gives me more time to focus on work and friendships. Like when you're in a relationship, you focus so much and can't give as much emotional energy to other things. So I think it's good people get married so we can raise the next generation. But I mean, I know I wouldn't mind never getting married and never having sex. And I'm very sexual. Like bipolar, I go hypersexuality like a lot. But have you seen videos by Michael Voris? Oh my gosh, yes. I recently started watching the Vortex YouTube channel. And I had heard horrible things about it, that he's very, I don't know what I heard, but I just heard he's like really mean to people. But I watched some of the videos, and the way it's edited is hilarious. Like he says really dramatic text and stuff. And I think it's really good because like he speaks out against this group called the SSPX, who broke off of Catholicism recently, who disagree with Vatican II. So he's very conservative Catholic, like very, very right, and like Latin Catholic crowd, but like encouraging the SSPX to come back to the church. So in that sense, it's like, wow, like you're reaching out to those people. Like that's so great. Like, you know, I could never be the person to like reach out to like the super like Latin Catholic schismatic crowd, but like he can. Like that's his demographic, and that's beautiful. Look up Aquinas' explanation. Jesus did not have to die. I'll make a video about that. I have not researched that. I am currently in college, and I have friends who are of the Christ. They want me to leave the church because they don't know if it's truly. I just answered that. Go watch my videos. I made so many apologetics videos, guys. Okay. Oh, Alec. Oh, that makes me so happy. Thank you for the continued inspiration, knowledge, perspective. Your videos give me another reason to love being Catholic. Is Catholicism the true church? Obviously, I believe it is, or I would not have converted. Thank you for doing this live stream and for your videos clearing up misconception of the church and whatnot. You're welcome. Is there a difference between an Eastern Orthodox liturgy and a Byzantine Catholic? The only difference is that we pray for Pope Francis in Byzantine. I think that's the only difference. Oh, and the Filioque, so part of the creed. So when we say the creed, in Catholicism, we say the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Orthodox, they see the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. So those are the two differences. Why did the Catholic Church say there's no salvation outside the church, and now they say there is? Okay, so here's the difference. You're thinking of church as just like physical Catholic church. St. Augustine talked about the city of God and the city of man. he said that some people are in the city of God, i.e. in the church, who are currently not part of the actual church, but they're part of the city of God. And it gets crazy. There's people who are in the physical church practicing Christians, but who are actually part of the city of man and will not be in heaven. So I think it's always been part of Catholic tradition. Since like early on, St. Augustine was saying this, where the church, it's not only like the physical church be going to mass, but it's like spiritual as well. So you're just thinking of church in very black and white terms. I hope that makes sense. You should read City of God by Augustine. It's really good. Okay. Does bipolar affect your faith? Bipolarity? Bipolarity, don't say that word. I don't know. Where did you get up with that word? Like bipolar. Bipolarity. Does it affect my faith? Yeah, it affects my faith a lot. Because like when I'm more manic, I will read my Bible for like 3 hours at a time. I'll pray for like an hour, like talk to God. Like I'll feel God. So excuse me. Like I'll feel God so strongly. And then when I'm in depression, I don't feel God at all. So like when I'm manic, I'm pushed to like do ministry more and like make more YouTube videos, pray more, read my Bible more, like emotionally pushed. And when I'm in depression, like you don't feel anything. So you have to like try really hard to like motivate yourself to like connect with God and stuff. Can you address the question if Vatican II contradicts Vatican I? I feel like that's just, if you are someone who denies Vatican II, I feel like I'm not going to be able to explain in like 30 seconds that will convince you. But the main thing is that, so there are dogmas and doctrines, which don't really change. But then there are other things called disciplines, which are kind of depend on the time. So for example, women don't have to wear veils unless you feel like it. Same with priests getting married. So like priests in the early church, like the original apostles, some of them were married. And so that's kind of something where like in the Eastern church, they get married. So this is what I mean. So Vatican II, it changed like disciplines. So these things that can change, it did not change dogma. Dogma does not change ever. So I think that you think that certain things, like having it in Latin, for example, are dogma, but that was never dogma. That was just like a way the church chose to do church, but all of that can change. So Vatican II brought back how the original church was. So the Mass had developed things from like the medieval ages that had could become normalized. And so Vatican II brought back how the early church was. So it's more original than how it was before. If you study church history, you would see that. But a lot of people are like, no, Latin is original. All this is original. Like, no, it was from the medieval ages. If you go before that, the church was more like how Vatican II is now. So the entire purpose of Vatican II was restoring to what it was at the beginning. Did you already talk about acting? No! Do you want to talk about acting? Okay. Have you considered religious life? I'm in a relationship, guys. I'm dating Trevor. I can't like become a nun. I said once how I thought it would be cool to be a nun, and he's like, Liz, we're dating. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on the road to not become part of religious life. Put Prairie, first time catching you live. Okay, so I acted today, and I was like playing like a Valley girl part. So it was just like my personality, but like exemplified. And I had to like flirt with this guy in one of the scenes. And I like ad-lib dialogue, and they like thought it was so great and were like laughing. Yeah. But it was weird because like I have a boyfriend, and so I don't flirt with other guys like ever. Like I do not even flirt, you know, like cheating is so horrible. Like I won't even like sort of cheat or like get on a road to cheat. Like, yeah. So it was weird because I had to flirt with a guy in the scene, and I was like being like touchy, like, you know, all of that because I had to, but it was like acting. Was acting fun? Yeah, oh my gosh, it was so fun. Because it was like, we had like 80s costumes and like crazy makeup. And it was very taxing. So like we would do the same scene like 20 times because we had to block it with so many extras and everything. So we would practice so many times, and then like one person will mess up, so you'll do it over 15 more times, and then like different angles. So it was very much like it takes so long to perfect it, but it was so cool. Like the director was a female and she was just so intense, like amazing at her job. We prayed before. There was like a priest putting holy water on us. It was so funny actually. So right before we were about to shoot, I feel water like fall on me, and I like look over and it's like holy water because the priest was like spraying holy water on us. Have you seen any of Robert Barron's videos? Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Yeah. I love Bishop Barron. The first semester of my RCIA, we just watched Bishop Barron videos. And Trevor and I, when we're just like chilling together and hanging out, we watch Bishop Barron videos together. What's your opinion on same-sex marriage? So like I said before, if you are born gay, that is not a choice. That's how you are born. And I'm against conversion therapy. I agree with all Catholic sexual ethics. So in the Catholic Church, we believe that sex is only for marriage, and that the purpose of sex, every single sexual act, like we don't even allow birth control, is that it must be unitive and procreative. So those are my thoughts. I pray for you and your intentions every time at Mass, Lizzie. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, thank you. I know because she had boyfriends before, G-Rod. What should I tell my homosexual sister? She didn't start being gay until she started hanging out with gay people. Okay, no, that's not how it works. For a majority of people who are gay, it's how they are born and it cannot be changed. So she may have come out after hanging out with people because she had the courage to come out, but that does not mean she was always gay. Like there are some people who are like fluid sexuality who it might change, but a majority of people who are gay, it's like that their entire life. So trying to change her or thinking that it happened because she's hanging out with people who are gay is probably misguided. Actually, definitely misguided. I know because she's had boyfriends before. Yeah, I've heard of a lot of people who will date someone of the opposite gender and not be sexually attracted to them. Like my ex, we did not have like physical chemistry that much. Like we would kiss each other, but it wasn't like we were not like sexually compatible, if that makes sense. But like we dated, like we were in a relationship, but we didn't have like that physical chemistry. So I totally think someone can date someone, but not like be straight. Like they can date someone of the opposite gender and be gay. Like I think that's very common because people feel like they're scared to date someone of the same gender, so they do what society says. And so that doesn't mean someone is not born gay. And I think that instead of guessing about what your sister is, you should just ask her. Like, how do you know you were gay? Like how, and ask her, just like ask questions and listen rather than like thinking what it might be. You know what I mean? Like you can literally just talk to her and ask her. Do you think God makes people gay? Do you think God makes people bipolar? Yeah. I think God creates people certain ways. It's interesting because like I'm not comparing being gay to mental illness, but like with bipolar, like I love being bipolar, but it's also like I kind of think like it might be from the fall. So I've heard some Christians say that like gender dysphoria maybe because of the fall. So some people think like that. I don't really know my opinion on it. But I do know that if someone is born gay, you should believe them, and conversion therapy leads to higher suicide rates. So I don't recommend trying to do conversion therapy or changing them. What are your thoughts on Judith? I have not read, I know the storyline, but I haven't read. I'm reading through Wisdom of Sirach right now. Why would God make people gay but then not allow gay marriage? I don't know. But I think all the time, like, why does God make people schizophrenic? Why does God make people with different mental illnesses? Why does God make people born blind? Why does God make people born disabled so they don't have access to their entire mind? Like, I think there's a lot of things on earth that are like this is not like perfection. Like, we're not in heaven right now. There's a lot of things that like don't make sense in why someone was created a certain way. So, but like in general, like, I don't know. Like, if I was bi or gay, I would be so confused and I would like pray so much and like ask God and discern and like not get it and probably be mad at God even. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to make a video where I interview people who are LGBTQ talking about their experiences because I feel like as someone who is straight, I don't really have, like, I shouldn't be talking about this because like those people should be sharing their stories or their thoughts. I don't believe that gay people are born that way because of God. She isn't saying it's God's fault. I don't really think they hate refugees. Some priests started preaching. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. She says she doesn't know. Yeah, I said I don't know. I have like people think different things. Cheers from Brazil. Your testimony was translated to Portuguese and many people watched and liked your videos. Aw! So one of my best friends and roommates is from Brazil. So yeah, I'm so happy. It's in Portuguese. I hear her speaking in Portuguese a lot. This life is just so confusing. I can't wait to meet God and ask him so many questions. True, Joel. That's true. Like, there's so many things that are confusing, that don't make sense. Yeah, that I don't know. I'm bisexual. I've had gender dysphoria, and I'm in a wheelchair. Okay, this is by Ophelia. I'm bisexual. I've had gender dysphoria, and I'm in a wheelchair and have chronic pain. All of those things make me so confused, but I believe that God made me this way for a reason. Wow, that's really brave and powerful. I'm gonna screenshot this. Yeah. Can you please talk about Pride Month? What about it? So much I need to learn about Catholicism. Yeah, same. There's so much to learn. You need some moderators here. No, guys, I'm fine. I do not get offended easily. I think everyone should share their thoughts as long as you're not hating anyone or like using any coarse language. Say whatever you want. Why do people play hard to get and why is it confusing? Hi! Haven't we met each other? We've FaceTimed or something before? Or like, we've met each other, right? Like through the internet? Anyways, Vincent. So, as a female, when I was younger, I thought it was fun to like mess with guys kind of thing. And it was like a game. And so it was like you get more attention by like playing hard to get. So I did it like for my ego. That's why I would play hard to get, not because I actually wanted to be with someone. Lizzie, you're so inspiring. Hi, Kevin. I know that one day I'll find that reason. Okay, this is Ophelia. I know that one day I'll find that reason, whether while I'm on earth or when I hopefully get to meet God. Eventually, I'll learn the reason why I am this way. Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah. And I think anyone who's born with something that they don't understand or that doesn't like fit into society will understand in the next life. We do not know the reasons for everything. This is Trail Reefs. And since we are not God, we will never have perfect knowledge of why things are the way they are. Wow, I'm screenshotting this too. I'm going to tweet out these quotes. You guys are so much wiser and so much more well articulated than I am. Read your Bible. If you're a Christian, you will believe. Okay. What can I say to a member from my church who says God is upset with people who go at the Orthodox Church? Okay, I don't know what church you're from, but Orthodox and Catholics have 99.9% of things in common. So Orthodox can actually take communion at Catholic Mass, And Orthodox have valid apostolic succession of their priests and bishops and have real presence communion. They're going to be in heaven with us. They just don't accept the Pope is the main thing, and the filioque clause in the creed. Islam worship Satan. No. So actually the word Allah is God if you translate it into English. So people who are Islam worship God, and I would argue that in a lot of ways Islam is more orthodox in their theology, so more right in their theology than a lot of Protestants. It's true. Pope John Paul II kissed a Quran when he was Pope. He kissed the Quran. So if you're going to hate on Islam and be Catholic, church authority disagrees with you. What do you think about Islamic views of Jesus? And do you believe we worship the same God? Yeah. I think we worship the same God, but I think that through Jesus coming down, Jesus is fully God. So they don't understand that part of the Trinity. So I think by God becoming a human through Jesus, we understand more of who God is because we can read all about it in the Gospels of who God was when he was a person. So I think we have see more of who God is, if that makes sense, because they don't have the full concept of the Trinity. Hey, Lizzie, I'm just joining. Hi, you can go back and watch the rest of it later, but do you have any questions? Pursuing sainthood? What's your name? We say hi from Mexico. Karina, hi. I would move to Mexico in a heartbeat. I love it so much. I learned Spanish in high school. I went to Cabo for a week in February and loved it so much. I love it. I want to go back and see Our Lady of Guadalupe and everything. How is Church of Christ different from other evangelical branches? Sorry, I keep trying to ask this question. No, I didn't see it before. So Church of Christ is part of the American Restoration movement, which started in the 1850s. And we do not have musical instruments at our churches, and we do full immersion baptism of adults. So a lot of people in Church of Christ think Catholics are going to hell. Sorry, I'm laughing. I just think it's ridiculous. They think Catholics are going to hell because they're not full immersion baptized. But infant baptism went on in the early church. I made a whole video about that. Go to the Dominican Republic. Oh, it'd be so fun. There's so many places I want to travel. Have you ever had a paranormal experience? Never. I have had hallucinations, though, with bipolar. I don't know if that's paranormal. It's really scary, by the way, when I have stuff like that, like psychosis stuff. It's so weird. Oh my gosh, guys, I had my first ever visual hallucination a week ago. It was so, the most boring hallucination. But, I was looking for, this pill bottle carrier thing I have. And, I was looking in, my suitcase. And I looked down, and, I saw it right there for, 5 seconds. And I go to grab it. And then it's, not there. And then I go over somewhere else, and I, found it. And I promise it was not your mind is just playing tricks on you. It literally was. I've never experienced anything like that ever in my life. But, I've had auditory hallucinations, but in depression, and one time when I was manic. But, yeah. Okay. Let's look for more comments. The most recent pope is the epitome of blasphemy. So I actually recommend a book by Christopher West in which he talks about Pope Francis. Wait, let me look up the name of the book. Pope Francis, Christopher West. So a lot of things Pope Francis says get taken out of context. So it's called Pope Francis to Go. Christopher West is a very conservative Orthodox Catholic. And so he explains quotes that Pope Francis says and then explains them in context for why Pope Francis is not being heretical. So if you believe that, go read Pope Francis to Go. I actually might buy it. It sounds really fun. It's on Amazon, guys. Okay. Wow. Islam is not satanic, guys. If you read the Catechism, it talks very positively about Islam and Judaism. Pope John Paul II kissed the Quran. Don't think it's satanic. Religions are cancer. So I think you're confused, Patrick. People who are religious can be like cancer, but religion in itself is not cancer. So I think you should separate the people from the thing. So obviously the people are misrepresenting the religion, and ideally people should be representing something well. But when they're not, I think it's uncharitable to be like, oh, this person says they're Christian and is being horrible, therefore this is horrible. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. The real hell is here on earth. Oh my gosh. Yeah, wait, I'm going to screenshot this. Yes. So, okay. You guys should all listen to the audiobook, The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. He kind of talks about how, like, earth is hell in it. It's so interesting. Does it come in audiobook form? The Pope Francis to go? Let's see. It comes on the Kindle. Wait, let me Google real quick. Pope Francis audiobook. Audible, Pope Francis to go, Kindle audio. No, I don't think it's on audiobook yet, but he's pretty famous, so you should write him an email. I have his personal email. I'll let him know that you want an audiobook. I'll ask for you guys. Okay. Stop being ignorant. The Crusader. Who is being ignorant? Why do you type in all caps? The Pope just wants to be politically correct. No, I don't think so. I think, no. What is your favorite Disney character? Oh my gosh, so different. So when I ordered food, I literally got like toast with like vegan butter on it. I'm obsessed with bread. Oh, and like vegan jam. What was your question? Oh, I really like Elsa from Frozen. I actually saw Frozen on Broadway, but I connect with her because with my mental illness, it's like you want to like keep it in and like control it. But okay, here. This is why I connect with Elsa. When I was first diagnosed with bipolar and depression, I hid it and I wanted to protect everyone in my life from knowing how bad it was. So like I would lie to people and say I never had suicidal thinking and like I kept it all to myself. But true freedom was when I let people see how bad it was and see my scars and see the scariest parts of it. And it didn't like horrify them. Like they were strong enough to handle it and deal with it with me. And it was freeing, like so freeing, not hiding it and not feeling like I need to protect everyone, but to let people take care of me too. Are those popes wrong? No, maybe you were just born in an environment that is prejudiced towards Islam, which is making you think negatively about Islam and go against the way Catholic authority positively talks about Islam. Did you ever consider that? Someone comments after that Islam worships Satan in all caps. I can't win. See, this is like my vegan video. A lot of people were commenting on it so angry. And it was strange because I gave really rational arguments for why if you eat a lot of meat and dairy, you're going to die younger. Like you're going to get more diseases. And it was just really basic, rational video. And people reacted so emotionally to it because they've been manipulated by our society, by the meat and dairy industry advertising to believe that we need meat to be healthy. And so it's the same thing where societal forces around us manipulate us to think in different ways. So if you grew up thinking something, question everything. Don't just accept what you were taught or what you believe, like research. She is so stupid, the Crusader. Okay. Just leave Church of Christ. I'm not in Church of Christ. I'm Catholic. Where have you been? I like your vegan videos, but I still like meat. Can women be priests in Catholicism? No. No, only men can. I made a 15-minute video explaining why. I do not think the church is sexist at all because women they can be youth ministers, speakers, worship leaders, read scripture, pray in front of the church, do anything besides be a priest. So just watch the video. I explain why. Hey, Lyanna, it's fine if people whine in the chat. Like, I'm not a sensitive person at all. If people want to, like, just express themselves, like, I think it's healthy to express yourself. The world is flat. Question everything. LOL. That's funny. What are you eating? Bread. So I ordered from this vegan restaurant. And yeah, it's like literally bread. Can you do a video on why Christians should live zero waste? I think it's impossible, but you should be more environmental. I talked about it at the end of my last video. Go watch. I understand why women cannot be priests, but I do not understand why they cannot be deacons. Women were deacons in the church in the past, but it's very complicated because today, oh my gosh, there's so many things I can say with this. So today there's deacons who are like transitional deacons to become priests and just deacons. So there's a time where deacons were always like transitional deacons to become priests. So when they were deacons before, like it's difficult to know like what that meant. So deacon has changed over time. Currently, Pope Francis has a commission together to study the issue, and depending on their answer, there might be women deacons after that. So it's very, very complicated because the meaning of deacon has changed over time. Hi, Jenny RHCP. Hi, from Argentina. I'm thinking of being vegan, but it's hard to quit meat. Yeah, so don't be fully vegan. Just be like 90% vegan. You know what I mean? Like don't be 100% if you can't. But don't like not be vegan because of that. Do you believe there's life on other planets? I don't know. I don't really care. Where do you lean politically? I used to think I was really liberal, but like lately, I don't know what the deal is, but there's people who are like really, 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 really liberal and really, 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 really conservative in power. And I feel like everyone I know in my life is like somewhere in the middle. And so I have no idea like who's voting for these people. Like there's some women who don't like, some liberals who don't like the word breastfeeding because I think that's sexist. We should just say like baby feeding or something. You know what I mean? Like literally there's liberals who think that. And then there's conservatives who want to get rid of every single regulation in the government, even for like clean water. So I don't even know what's going on in our country right now. Like I'm so freaking confused and I hope everyone can like cool down and like get along. Because I think we agree on more than we disagree on. But I would say I lean. See, it's difficult because like I agree and disagree with both parties, but like economically and like regarding education, I'm more liberal. And I wish we used our military less because I don't really like violence. And I think like our country tries to like be the hero and like intervene in other countries. And I think we should use that money first to take care of ourselves. And so like even Obama was very conservative on foreign policy, using the military so much. And like our own country has so many issues. Like we should take care of our own country first and then try to save other countries. Ian Joyce, please tell us more about Pepperdine University. I have a playlist of like 70 videos talking about Pepperdine University. So just YouTube search Lizzie's Answers Pepperdine and you can watch like 50 plus videos all about it. Europe is all turning populist. I'm libertarian. I like Trump. See, I love this. People feel free to express themselves. This is great. This gives me so much hope. We can all just like get along and be friends. Ophelia Brown. I can't go vegan because I rely on my parents for feeding me and they can't make separate meals for me that are vegan, but I'm vegetarian most of the time. Yeah, that's great. And I think that like you're right. When you're under your parents, like when you're living with your parents, you don't have complete freedom. So yeah, once you live on your own, you can be vegan. But there's a video I really like. If you YouTube search 5 reasons to not become vegan, there's a video that will come up and she gives advice on trying to talk with your parents about it. So go watch that video. Nathan, my psychologist, thinks I could have psychoclithmia. Sorry. What are signs of being in a hypomanic episode? It's harder with psychoclithmia because it's more subtle than full-blown bipolar. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not, like, sitting with you for an hour to diagnose you, so I can't really tell you, but I recommend to just go to a psychiatrist that you think is really, like, competent. Like, if you don't like your current psychiatrist, find a new one, because some of them are really, like, bad. Message retracted. You guys can delete your comments. Lizzie's answers, I can't understand what the topic of this is in general. We're talking about so many different things based upon questions, so if you want to talk about something, like, literally just say it, and we can start talking about that. Trump, the Crusader. So the Crusader, you're the same person who, like, said you hated the religion of Islam, and you disagree with the Pope in being positive towards it, and the Pope kissing the Quran. So it's not that surprising that you lean right politically. Like, I would have guessed that. Transgenderism and gender identity is stupid. Actually, gender dysphoria is a medical condition. It's in the Diagnostic Statistic Manual of Psychiatry as a real mental illness. And you can actually do MRI scans of the brain, and you can see if someone has gender dysphoria, like physically in the brain. So you might think it's stupid, but it is real. Do you consider making a YouTube video about communion of the saints? Yeah, I probably will at some point. I totally have, like, thought of that before. Some tips to approach the— I'm so hungry, guys. I'm talking too much. Okay. This is so good. It's like rice and spinach and kale and tomatoes. Okay. Okay. Hey, Bruno. You said Islam is pure terrorism. No. Like, not at all. Like, there's certain people in countries that are Islam that are terrorists. There's also a lot of people in America who are terrorists. We have shootings, like, every other month. And guess who, a majority of the time, is shooting at people? White men who are Christian. So personally, I'm more scared of white men than anyone else, because in the United States, it's majority white, and the people who do the most shootings are white men. So that's who I'm the most afraid of. They're killing everybody? No, certain people. That'd be like saying, you know, like, Christians are terrorists, Christians are violence. Violence is just the human condition. Just because someone is a particular religion and is violent doesn't mean the religion is that. Guys, so, like, saying all Islam is violent? So ISIS is violent. ISIS is, like, think of it as a denomination within Islam. So you guys know, like, the Westboro Baptist Church? How they literally, like, go around, like, they hate gays so much, they're so hateful. That doesn't mean, like, all Christians are like that. That's just, like, a sect within Christianity. So ISIS is just a denomination within Islam. Does that make sense? Any ideas why the church discourages gay people from becoming priests? It doesn't. Do you listen to Alex Jones? I have before, but not consistently. What about white women? Women tend to commit less crime than men. She is more afraid of white men, LOL. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I live in a majority white country, and most crime is on the same race. So if I were to get murdered by someone, it would probably be, like, a white man who I knew. You're most Africa— what? If you lived in the Middle East yourself, you wouldn't think that would— trust me. Yeah, so, like, if I lived in the Middle East, I would be most scared of men of the majority ethnicity there. Probably, you know what I mean? On the basis of white men doing terrorist attacks, so that based on just numbers or percentage of the population? So I'm talking about how there's shootings, like, every other month. I'm not talking about people. So, like, the most people who have ever died of terrorist attacks in the country would be Pearl Harbor, and 9/11. So I'm just talking about the amount of incidents. Like, because of airport security, something like 9/11 is impossible for that to ever happen again. But what happens so often are these shootings. So that's what I'm really, really the most scared of. That is actually very likely that could happen. Hitler was a loser? Yeah, obviously. Why are we like, is someone supporting Hitler in the comments? I don't think there is life on other planets because Jesus came to give salvation to all and he came to Earth. He would have had to go to another planet to save others if there is life on other planets. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think 9/11 was an inside job? No, of course not. I mean, if you research it, the like, what is it called? The people who the CIA, the FBI. Anyways, they like informed administrators on Bush's cabinet that there was an attack that may happen on 9/11. Like, for some reason, they heard about it, and the cabinet did not take them seriously. But the thing is, there's rumors of stuff happening all the time, so maybe it wasn't incompetency. But like, objectively, they were warned about it, like his cabinet. So I'm not blaming Bush at all. It's kind of like the Flint water crisis. I researched it really in depth. And it wasn't the governor's fault. It was incompetence on like the bureau as a whole and like the city commissioners. So anyways, thoughts on gun control? I think it's really tough because like in Australia, they had a massive shooting and they made guns illegal and they never ever have had a shooting ever again. Like a massive shooting like what we have. But our culture is so different, so I honestly don't think that would work in the US. I just think that, okay, so first of all, a lot of the times that the shootings have happened, these people have actually been on the FBI list of being someone who's dangerous, but the government hasn't followed through. So that's what I would like first, to like, if someone's on the list, like, don't let them buy a gun. You know what I mean? That's like something. But yeah, I don't really know like what, like, our country is just like culturally loves guns. And so because of that, Republicans are so pressured by the NRA, like the National Rifle Association, so they like are like alt-right and won't compromise at all. But I think we could all compromise to maybe get rid of like machine guns, because like, do you need that to go hunting? Probably not. No. So I think we should like just not be selling like mass killing machines. Like, it's fine to have guns, but maybe not like automatic weapon type things. I won't give up my guns under any pretense. Yeah, no, it's totally fine if you own a gun. That's fine. I just think maybe we shouldn't be like super killing machine type guns. You know what I mean? Because like, do you need to like? Why do you need like a semi-automatic, like really intense one? You know what I mean? You don't need that to protect yourself or go hunting. These comments are amazing. Have you read the Holy Bible or no? Yeah, several times through. But except for the books that were taken out of the Protestant Bible. What are your thoughts on the recent? Oh my gosh, it's going so fast I can't read. I misquoted a fallacy. You should make a YouTube video about veneration of Mary in the Bible. For example, the visitation of Elizabeth when she calls Mary blessed. Yeah, so the Hail Mary prayer is actually in the Bible. I think I've talked about that in several videos. I might make an entire video about like Catholicism, theology of Mary. Could I suggest something that I noticed you do with the Bible? What? My church is in Flint, Michigan. Oh my gosh, what are your thoughts about the Flint water crisis? I researched it so in depth. It made me so angry. A lot of people say it was racist, and that probably had something to do with it. But the research I did, it was just massive incompetence on the level of like these city commissioner people. You know how in group projects growing up, there's the one person who like doesn't show up to group project meetings, doesn't do their job at all. You have to do their work. I feel like that type of person was like in these government positions, and that's why it happened. The same thing's happening in California, where in certain counties the water is polluted. And oh my gosh, my sister went to Brown, and in Rhode Island, Providence, the same thing happened where the pipes were like had lead poisoning in them. But obviously it's not as bad as Flint, because Flint affected like babies and young children, permanent brain damage. I was so angry. I cried. Ugh, I hated that so much. The Second Amendment was to protect citizens. Yeah, I'm not trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. Liberals aren't trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. We just want some regulation on guns, and Republicans usually do too. I have a lot of homework to do, but I'd rather watch your great channel. What are you studying in school, Alexander? I don't even understand how any of these water crises aren't being fixed or acted upon. It's because of incompetence, like my metaphor of like the person in the group project who slacked off. Like my experience in school growing up, I always did the entire group project just myself because other people were so incapable of like doing work well. So then when you have those people in charge of clean water, is it surprising? Like, it's not surprising to me. My experience with people thus far, a lot of people are very lazy and will do the minimum effort. So like, guys, when you vote, your local politicians are extremely important. They can poison your water. So research the local candidates. I noticed you read from the NIV version of the Bible. No, I don't. Sometimes in videos, I'll quote from NIV, NRSV, ESV, from like all different versions. But my personal Bible is like, I actually don't know. Let's see. I think my Bible is my current. Oh, do you guys like my leggings? I love these ones so much. They're so freaking cozy. This one is NAB. So I'm reading NAB, New American Bible, not NIV. What's the best Bible version for you? I might make a whole video on Bible translations. I have a lot of thoughts. There's so many that are great though. There's like a lot of Greek and Hebrew words that don't have like direct translations into English. So they all like do a good job. Except for like the Message and the what is that one called? The I forgot the name of it. It's like the Message, and then the New Living Translation isn't very good. I love those leggings. Yeah, they're so cute. I agree. Oxford Bible. Shameless plug for my patron saint, Saint Synesius. How do you say you need help mentally, even if it's hard? Just think of it like if one of your best friends or family members was really, really suffering, like what would you want them to do? Like, would you want them to talk to you? So that's kind of my advice. Like, if you would want them to talk to you, then like you should, you know what I mean? Like, love yourself and treat yourself the same way you would like your best friend. What's your thoughts on Messianic Judaism? So actually my best friend's mom is Messianic Jewish, so I know a lot about it. I think it's really beautiful, but I think it's one of the Protestant churches, so I'm not Protestant because I think Catholicism is like closer to truth. But obviously like Jesus is in all of them. Come on, floss on camera. What is that? I don't even know what that means. Is that something like, is that like offensive or something? I don't even want to. Okay. My boyfriend made my psych appointment and was recently diagnosed with bipolar meds. Bipolar meds have been a godsend, I agree. I'm grateful that he believes in mental health. Same, yeah. My boyfriend believes in mental health too. I feel like encourages me to go to appointments and stuff. Okay, guys, you're talking about the outside of the church thing. I talked about this already. Rewatch the video. I talked about how Augustine talked about city of God and city of man. If you understand that concept, you will understand the quote, no salvation outside of the church, okay? Because the church is not just like the physical church, it's like in a spiritual sense. Okay, show us, you guys, can you stop objectifying my body? That's very rude. Like, I'm here for my mind, not my body. But guys, the same person who was like, show us your butt, was the same person who voted for Trump and hates Islam. So just like all of that in a person. You need moderators? I can handle it. Like, I'm not, like I said, like I'm not sensitive at all. Lizzie is very pretty, but that's not appropriate. Yeah, come on, guys. She does need moderators. He is trolling you. No, I'm pretty sure he just objectifies. He might be objectifying to women. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate Islam that much, I wouldn't be surprised if the same person is very, like, sexist toward women. I would not be surprised. What? Don't joke. I know I suck at eating. He's trolling? No, I don't think he's trolling. I think he literally, like, yeah. Has he been trolling this whole time? Hi. Yeah. No, he was just saying that he, like, hated Islam and stuff. I don't treat women like secondhand citizens like Islam. Ugh, okay. If you liked, guys, Pope John Paul II kissed the Quran because Catholics do not hate Islam. Guys, can we stop being negative? Oh my god. Muslims cannot be saved. The catechism says the opposite. Quit giving him attention. I'm not offended, guys. I think you could make a better video about Mormons. And I mean, in my video, I explained how they have a objective misreading of the early church. So I'm trying my best to help them not become Muslim. Guys, I have a funny story. So one of this grad student I was friends with at Pepperdine, who is in my Greek class, his house got blacklisted by the Mormons because he converted 3 or 4 of their Mormon missionaries out of Mormonism. So that they blacklisted his house because they were like sending Mormons there, and then he convinced them why they were wrong and they stopped being Mormon. Why do women wear hijab when they go to church or mosque? Okay, so here's the thing. We need to respect cultural differences. So I get really, really, really annoyed when people are trying to judge women and tell them what to do. So like as a female, if I decide to dress modestly and wear a veil to mass, that's not me being oppressed by men. I'm choosing to do that. So same thing with Muslim women. In America, there are a lot of Muslim women where it's like optional to wear their hijab or not. And some people choose to do it because they want to, because they value modesty as a value. It's not like they're being oppressed. They're choosing to wear it. So I really don't like if any country is telling a woman who's Muslim that she's not allowed to wear hijab, that just kind of makes me angry because it's like, don't stop telling women what to do. Some women want to wear it, just like how some women will wear the veil to mass. Like, stop telling women what to do. Let them do what they want to do. Okay. Like, I think our culture is just so, like, secularized where we view modesty as a negative thing. That is really funny, though, the Mormon story. Isn't it? It's so funny. Do you like any Broadway plays? I personally like Hamilton. Yeah, my sister's obsessed with Hamilton. A lot of my friends. I've heard the soundtrack. I saw Frozen on Broadway with my best friend, Nicole. It was so fun. I actually really have been enjoying this live stream, guys. The last live stream I did in 2013, I didn't really like. But this is like really chill. Have you read I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai? Yeah, I love so much. I want to go to Pakistan so much. Oh my gosh, I want to go to Pakistan and Afghanistan because, okay, there's this other book called A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and it just explains the like the culture of the area and just like the nature and how beautiful it is. Like I want to visit so much. Do you miss hearing a cappella hymns like Our God, He is Alive? Yes, I miss Church of Christ songs so much. Wow. Enjoy your eating. Oh my gosh, yeah. I need to eat. Okay. What kind of music do you listen to? Okay. Demi Lovato's new song called Sober, I relate to because she has bipolar disorder. And like I go off my meds a lot. And so she's like apologizing to everyone in her life for like relapsing. Like she's trying to be better, but like she's only human. I really relate to that. So Sober. It's so good. Also, Cimarelli, I'm obsessed with. Cimarelli is a Catholic band. They're YouTubers. Their covers of Reckless Love and Stay I've been listening to constantly. Camila Cabello, Sarah Reeves, she's a Christian singer. Taylor Swift, Shawn Mendes, Dan and Shay, Cheat Codes, Megan and Liz, Bella Thorne, Tana Mojo, 5 Seconds of Summer, Halsey, Selena Gomez, Chainsmokers, Ariana Grande. Okay, I think that's enough music. Book of Mormon is on Broadway. Okay, I actually love Book of Mormon, the soundtrack. So good. And like the play. I lived in Afghanistan for a year. I don't recommend it. Not safe and not like the book. No, people literally died in the book. Like it was horrible, the book. But I'm talking about like the culture is so beautiful. Like obviously it's not safe. Like I would not travel. You know what I mean? But I mean like the culture is so beautiful. And like the place and the people are so beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Why are you mad that I love a book about a country? Like just because a country is violent, because there is a minority group in the country in power being violent, doesn't mean that the people and the culture is bad. Like at all. It has zero relation. You need to learn more about Islam. I think you need to learn more about Islam. Like, have you ever been to a mosque before? You should go and check it out. I really like it when I've gone. Guys, we all know she's gorgeous. There's no need to put such crude language towards her. She's doing this for the intellect, perspective, and knowledge of us. She ain't doing this because of her body. Okay, so I want your guys' like honest thoughts. So for most of my YouTube, I have had 75% of my viewers have been guys. Why do you think that is? I think part of it is that like as a female, I'm very like assertive, dominant, logical, like stereotypical like male masculine. So maybe people relate to me like that. I don't know. I talked about this earlier when I was talking about gender, how like all my guy friends when I was younger were like all guys, like all my friends were only guys and stuff. Because she's pretty, their charity's only for. What are your favorite faves? 5 Seconds of Summer songs. Okay, here we go. Their new album. I haven't listened to the whole album, but Young Blood, see you want me out of your life. I've listened to that on repeat hundreds of times with my best friend Pisa, and Want You Back. And then Wherever You Are from their last album. Okay, I think guys trust a face that's easy on the eyes, at least for me. And I'm bipolar. So you're saying if someone's attractive, you will trust them more? No. In fact, in my experience with guys who are more attractive tend to be, not always, but a lot of times more full of themselves and will just like play you and stuff. So when someone is more attractive, I actually would probably trust them less. But whatever works for your worldview. Okay, I'm gonna block this person. Okay. Put user in timeout. Oh my gosh, I can put people in timeout. Okay. Anyone who posts negative comments, I'm gonna timeout. Okay. Message deleted by Lizzie's answers. Okay. Jerusalem is on my bucket list. Is it on yours? Yes, I want to go with Stephen Ray, his trips to Israel. I want to go with Trevor though, my boyfriend, and he's like always in school. So it's like with my schedule, I can travel whenever I want, but then like other people have actual lives where they have to like be in a place and like have a job and stuff. Okay. Okay, here we go. So someone is like, Islam is evil, so I put them in timeout. This is so great. It's so condescending. It's like, timeout. I love it. Do you like reading Pope encyclicals? Sometimes. Jesus came back in 70 AD. What denomination are you that believes that? Like, seriously, what church do you belong to that teaches that? What do you think about Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston? Very talented. I personally don't listen to their music. God bless you. Hope you have a good night. Good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. What MBTI type is your boyfriend? He's an ISTP. And funny story about that. So he's not into Myers-Briggs at all. But I like researched all the types really intensely like my freshman, sophomore year of college. Because a lot of my friends were into it too. And I like decided like I want to date an ISTP. Like this is the type of person like I would connect with best, respect best, get along with best. Like I want to date an ISTP. And then I met him and he was an ISTP. I was like between INTJ and ISTP. And then like as I got to know him more, I was like definitely an ISTP. It just explains a lot of things. Like if I like explained a lot of things about like how he is, like he's so ISTP, it's like ridiculous. LOL, I'm ISTP too. For some reason, I knew it. ISTPs are so fun. Like INTJs are like very intellectual, and like proper, and then ISTPs are like fun, you know? Like they're like fun intellectual. Yo, that's crazy. I want an aesthetic female. What? Okay, I'm gonna put you in timeout. I don't know if that was offensive or not. What Myers-Briggs type are you? I am ESTJ. Although with ESTJ, like my extrovert is not very strong. So I'm not like very, very extroverted. Jacob, Lizzie, I think you're awesome and very inspiring. Please pray for me because I will be entering seminary in the fall. Oh, okay, I'll pray for you. I'll put on my phone to pray for you. I actually like when people ask me to pray, I actually pray. Maybe everyone does, but Jacob entering seminary. That's so exciting. I wish I could go to seminary. It sounds so. Actually, women can go to seminary. I learned that recently. Okay, it's gonna be so fun. Philosophy, theology. You're gonna have like the best time ever. Okay, I'm so glad I can put people in timeout. I feel so powerful. I'm done, Lizzie. You should have remained a Protestant. The heresy is the same. We don't worship the same God. Yes, we do. Okay, bye. Bye, Bruno. It was nice having you on my channel. Have you ever read the Protestant preacher Ravi Zacharias? Yeah, actually one of my best friends is like obsessed with him, and this friend like was about to like become atheist, and like Ravi Zacharias like kept him into Christianity. So I love him. He actually spoke at Pepperdine. I've heard him speak live. Yeah. You're INFP. I love INFPs. One of my best friends is INFP. Do you know any priests in Brazil? One of my best friends is from Brazil. I'm an INFP. I love INFPs. You're like so chill and peaceful to hang out with. How is it the same God if they have opposite natures? Honestly, Protestantism is so many different types of Protestant. So if you're saying your form of Protestantism has opposite nature of God as Catholicism, totally possible. If you'll still be on in 2 hours, I'll see you then. Lizzie, I'm heading to mass. Otherwise, I'll see you in your next video. I'm gonna go to bed soon. I should actually take my meds. It's getting late. I need to like figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm meeting up with one of my best friends, like lives in Florida around here. And so we're gonna hang out tomorrow, and he wants me to come to church with him, but he's like Protestant. He's Church of Christ, so I have to go to mass tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna go to mass in the morning and then just like get lunch with him. People who are Protestant in my life always get offended when I say like I have to go to mass and like their Protestant church doesn't fulfill my Sunday obligation. Like they get kind of hurt and offended, but you know, you don't have real presence communion, so it's just not mass, you know? It's like pretty objective. Protestants pushed me into becoming atheist in my edgy high school years. Okay. What was the catalyst for your conversion? Go watch my video on why I'm becoming Catholic. I explain. Please pray for me, Lizzie. I'm struggling with stuff. Pray for Vincent. Okay, I'll pray for you too. Please pray for me too. Oh my gosh, I used to do this thing years ago where I would like post on my Facebook page, send me prayer requests, and then like 100 people would message me and I would like specifically pray for everyone. I've been going through some crazy spiritual dryness and I have a retreat next week. Okay. Thank you for giving me specifics. So spiritual drought. I have a whole video on spiritual drought. If you like if you YouTube search Lizzie's Answers, I Can't Feel God, it will come up. It's like 30 minutes because I experience that so much in depression and I feel like I have like solid advice on like how to deal spiritual. But my number one thing I said was to ask people to pray for you. So you're so much wiser than I am. You already know. And retreat next weekend. Okay. Wow. I like all have all these people to pray for before I go to sleep. That's so nice. Okay. I'm Protestant, but me and my Protestant friends are going to check out Catholic Mass this summer. So excited. Aw. I'm going to a discernment retreat in a few weeks to see if the monastic life is my calling. Aria. Okay, I'll pray for you too. Like I'm so excited. ENFJ teachers like me listen to Lizzie too. Oh my gosh. So I went to Thailand to do missions work, well, for 3 summers. One of the summers I went with a guy who was ENFJ. Highly respect him. One of the guys I respect the most in the world. ESTP is my favorite though. Like obviously like Trevor's my favorite because he's ISTP, but like as friends, ESTP are my favorite. Any thoughts on the filioque? I believe Catholicism is right on that. Have you ever done the Liturgy of the Hours? Yeah. But not like regularly. But I know people at my parish do it regularly. It's so cool. Hey Lizzie, I'm an Orthodox Christian, but I love watching your videos. Hi, I love Orthodox so much. I so wish I would have become Orthodox. I mean, I wish I could have become Orthodox. Like it's so beautiful. It's like being in heaven so intensely. I love all divine liturgy is amazing. It's like heaven. Have you ever wanted to go to one of those black churches where they sing for like 6 hours and everyone participates? I have been to like Church of Christ, like majority black churches before. Like actually a lot. Actually in Florida, I like the church I went to in high school was like super diverse. So like as a white person, I was like in the minority, like it was mostly like Hispanics, blacks, it was very diverse. So yeah. I'm Anglican. I'm ISTP. Oh my gosh! This is so funny. So the guy who was like trolling, who was being like objectifying with comments, voted for Trump and hates people who are Muslim is an ISTP. And that's actually like, I could see that. I could see an ISTP being like that. If you're like the opposite of Trevor, then I could totally see that. How are your rosary prayers going? I really like praying the rosary because it forces you to like feel the Bible because you like read all the Bible verses for each decade. So it feels like very like it helps me to meditate in the Bible that I've never felt anywhere else. I love your nails. Thank you. I really like when this one is different. Yeah. My name is Joel. Please pray for me. I'm trying to explain Catholicism to my Protestant girlfriend. I will pray. Maybe I will pray the rosary one day and pray for all of you. In the rosary. Wait. How old are you? I'm 23. My birthday is July 22nd. So I'm turning 24 in the future. Wait. Who is this person? Joel. Okay. Pray for a Protestant girlfriend. So I made a whole video talking about that. So if you haven't watched it already, but I definitely think that like when you get that close to someone in a relationship, you will have a lot of like influence in helping them become more open-minded. So definitely stay together and just keep being yourself, and it will make a huge impact. My ex was Catholic, and that's a huge reason why I stopped hating Catholicism. How old are we? Your videos are too long. Okay, so that's your opinion, but I can see what percentage of people watched all the way through, and a lot of people watch all the way through, and I constantly get requests to make 30-minute videos. So here's the thing, if you don't like the longer videos, you don't have to watch, but then the people who do want to watch will watch. ISTP at the ready. Yeah, that's great, your ISTP. What did Church of Christ think of Mary saying all generations will call her blessed? We didn't like focus on that verse that much. Please pray that I manage my bipolar symptoms well. And okay, I will pray. Pray you manage bipolar symptoms well. You guys, I'm probably gonna go off in like 15 minutes, by the way, because I really want to FaceTime my boyfriend. I know I get to see him tomorrow, but we're like very attached to each other. I mean, we're actually very independent, but like I really am like into him, you know? Okay. I'm a Byzantine Catholic, Aria. That's so cool. I want to visit your parish. Where do you live? Anglicans pulled away from Catholics because you guys are way too strict. No, I think we're just not changing the truths that were established by the apostles of Jesus originally. We're just not changing. So I think like the world is changing. So in contrast, it seems strict, but we can't be relativistic in judging things. If that's how the original church believed it, we've kept that through the years unchanging. And I think that's a lot more powerful than changing to fit the culture. You blocked me, but I will keep saying Islam is evil. So here's the thing. I put you in timeout, but now I just hid you from my entire channel so you can never comment again. Thanks for letting me know so I could block you fully. I've been considering attending regularly a Byzantine Catholic church this summer. Yeah, you should. That's amazing. I totally would if I could. What do you think about Latin Mass? I love Latin Mass. I go quite a bit. Last summer, I went like every week. I have a Latin parish by my house by my apartment in LA. I'm not in LA this summer, but it's like really close to my main church. So I go there for Sunday night Latin Mass a lot. And actually like half of them watch my videos. So like they all like recognize me and like sometimes like take pictures with me and stuff. So it's like a meet and greet after Mass. But it's so sweet because like they all know who I am and like know all these things about me. So it's like having friends like automatically. So I'm so excited to go back to California and go there. One of my friends from my parish like messaged me and is like, everyone misses you at the Latin Mass. It was so sweet. Hi Lizzie, I'm discerning a call to the consecrated life. That's so great. I love being celibate. I totally support being celibate. I think it's great. I think you can like fully actualize yourself better by being celibate. It's really cool. Socrates, he talks about that. I forget which Platonic dialogue. Comment below if you remember. But he talks about how it's good when like you get older and like stop being sexual because you can like just be rational. So yeah, he says it's like a positive thing when you stop being like controlled by your passions. So yeah, I kind of agree. Okay, Teresa, celibate life. Thinking of, but like we can all be celibate who are unmarried. Even in marriage, you still practice celibacy. Like when if I get married, I'm gonna do NFP sometimes, like space births, or like if I'm super manic and like it would be dangerous to get pregnant and go off meds. So celibacy is good. I love it. What are your views on running in sports bras with no shirt? I do it a lot. Not a lot, actually. I don't know. I have very like what I do is like I have workout shirts that will be like this, so it'll like show my sports bra, but like they're like looser. So like I have really big boobs, so like they bounce. So I personally like I don't like how people look at me if they see that, like they kind of objectify me. I just don't like how it feels. So like if I'm like running in my neighborhood and no one is there, or like running in a gym and no one's there, sometimes I'll run in a sports bra, but usually in a shirt, just because I don't like people staring at my boobs, personally. But if I'm like, okay, here's the thing. If I'm working out inside, I always just wear a sports bra. So I love working out in just a sports bra. Any recommendations for, oh my gosh, if I don't like see them immediately, they like go away. What was the deal with the conference you went to? I'm not gonna say anything negative until I discern if I should. So, like, I wrote a really long letter to Christopher West with like my issues with some of it. Not any of the theology, the way he talked. And so I don't know if I want to like share that with everyone, because I know I deal with like mini scandals because of like really like the dress I wore in my confirmation. I got so much hate for like a week. It was just really annoying. So I don't want to like send someone hate, you know? I don't think that's nice. But I might talk about it. What do you think of the women's conference you went to? It wasn't actually just women, it was men and women. Everyone was so nice, and yeah, a lot of people like recognized me. So I actually had kind of like anxiety the first night because I felt like everyone was like staring at me and like knew who I was. I don't know how to explain it, but you'd think that if you get like more fame and notoriety, or like more people know who you are or recognize you, you would feel less lonely and more known. But I find it to be the opposite, where I feel more isolated, more lonely, more sad, like the more views I get and like the more I get recognized. I don't know, it depends. Like sometimes if I get recognized and we have a really good one-on-one conversation and connect really well, then I feel known. But when it's just so many people, you feel kind of like, I don't know why I just felt very bad anxiety, and I just kind of hung out in my hotel room a lot of the conference because it was just like everyone knew who I was, and I don't know. I don't know why. I was like very introverted, and so I felt like stressed. Like you know how a lot of celebrities will have like scandals where someone will be like, I met this celebrity and they treated me horribly. Like I totally get now why that happens, because like I am so confident there were people at the conference who think, wow, she is so rude, like about me, just because I felt so introverted and drained and just wanted to like read by myself and not talk to people. Because I was so drained, because we like would have conference all day and then like go to meals. And so I would feel so drained. And so people probably thought like, oh, she doesn't want to talk to any of us. Like, I don't know. Like people might have thought like that. And it's like, so it was so stressful because I felt like I'm a public figure. Everyone like knows who I am, and like they're probably, yeah. I don't know. It just like it felt like a weird type of pressure. But everyone was so freaking nice who I talked to. Can you at least make a video on just that? Yeah, I might. Like here's the thing. So there's two things that really, really, really bothered me by his rhetoric at the conference. And I'm going to incorporate that in future videos. Like the issue with what he did, like in this video, because of what he did, I'm like hyper aware of how I want to change the culture. And in this video, the way I've been talking has been to change the culture. So I've been talking about it in this video, but not directly. Does that make sense? Like I don't need to talk about what he did, but I have an obligation to change the culture and how we talk about these things. And I'm doing that like right now. I probably, if I post it, will be a blog post on my website. I'm not going to make a video about it directly. I was supposed to go to the gym an hour ago. I'm liking this live stream. I was supposed to go to the gym too, but I went swimming earlier. Oh my gosh, so my pool, like my hotel has an outdoor pool. And I went swimming and it was like so hot, like Florida humid hot. So, oh my gosh, I still haven't eaten. So it was perfect. I love swimming so much. The Crusader, so the Islamophobic sexist guy wants to Skype. Such a troll. Have you heard of Sabrina Carpenter? A lot of the music artists you listed are the same vein. She's pretty underrated. No, I listened to her. Is she on YouTube? Wait, let me look it up. Sabrina Carpenter. That sounds so familiar. I'll look into her music. Okay. Shut your mouth and go have some kale. Not to be offensive, but that comment was hilarious. That's pretty funny too, because I love kale so much. Washington State. I go to St. George Byzantine Catholic Church. Oh my gosh! If I ever go there, Washington, St. George in Olympia. Which part of Washington is that? Because I know there's like Western Washington, and then there's like the rural part. One of my friends at Pepperdine lives in Eastern Washington, and he told me the craziest stories. Like, there would be like wild animals like out of his like window and stuff, and the nearest hospital was like 3 hours away. It was wild. You should do live more often. I might. I actually like this a lot. Like in 2013, I was really like, I don't know, like stressed me out because like when I make YouTube videos, I mess up dozens of times and will like do the line over again. So like it's stressful when you have to be kind of like perfect, I guess. Like you can't mess up. Everything is like recorded. But I've done so many interviews lately for like Catholic media that I'm so used to like just talking and it being like recorded and not being able to edit it. So I think I've gotten better at talking like this. So that's a positive that came out of it. The Crusader, she has a boyfriend, bro. What did he even say? Interesting. Thank you, Lizzie. Have a good night. Good night. I hope you sleep well. Can you do the hand wave that you always do at the start of your videos? Hey guys, it's Lizzie. 5 minutes of Skype and I'd red pill her life. Feminism not being real. I totally understand those arguments and somewhat agree. If that makes sense. Please don't take that out of context, guys, okay? I'm not like, I don't hate feminism. Like, I consider myself a feminist, but I understand the other perspective. Like I said, right now the country is alt-right and alt-left, and I'm so confused what's going on. I want everyone to chill. And so I'm very centrist and rational, and most people I know are too. The big issue now is the church is Catholics with Protestant spouses are able to receive Holy Eucharist without converting. What are your thoughts? Okay, no. You're completely misrepresenting what Pope Francis said. It isn't like everyone's spouse can. No. Pope Francis's communion thing was about divorce. People who are divorced receiving communion. I don't even know what you're talking about. If someone has not converted into the church, they're not allowed to receive Eucharist. It's really simple. I don't know what you are trying. What are you referring to? Can you pray that God will help me through my conversion into Catholicism? John? Okay, yeah, I will pray for you. Like really intensely, I'll pray for you because I know how crazy it is. Pray for my conversion into Catholicism. I love you guys so much. I'm so happy you're converting. It's so hard. Like last year, I cried so much. Like intensely cried. I was terrified. It's so freaking scary. But the more you read and ask questions and talk to Catholics and talk to priests and go to RCIA, the more that you learn. And then eventually you get to a point where you stop crying because you're so upset about it. And you start crying because you're so happy. Okay, I finally finished all my food. Oh my gosh, okay. My hotel room is such a mess. Like, guys, look at how a mess this is. Like, I am so bad at keeping organized. Okay. Lizzie, if I want to study theology, should I try philosophy first? Yeah. Do both. Like, philosophy just gives you like the framework of how to think. So definitely do both. Like I did philosophy and theology classes at college. Neo-pseudo-feminism. I don't know what you mean by that, but please tell me what you think. I don't know what define. Everything's about definitions. Feminism is evil. Okay, there's so many oh my gosh, so many comments all at once. Okay. What do you think about Mariah Carey and Whitney? I already said that I do not listen to their music, but they're both extremely talented musicians. Yay, thank you. Yeah, I'll pray for you, John, for sure. You're on my prayer list. She doesn't condemn feminism, ? There's so many different definitions of feminism that if I say anything about feminism, someone is going to think I'm saying 15 different possible things. So it's very difficult to talk about something that has so many different types of definitions. So like I made a video on my YouTube channel a few years ago called Why I'm a Feminist. And in the video, I explicitly defined what I meant by feminism. So it's like very difficult to talk about this because there's so many different connotations of it. Will you pray for me to be well in school? My name is Diet. Yeah, to do well in school for sure. Okay. I will pray for you. Love you. This has actually been quite enjoyable. I saw your first videos about a year ago, maybe a year and a half. And at that time, I knew that you were going to be Catholic. I'm pretty sure that your whole family will eventually convert as well. Pray! Okay, everyone watching, please pray for my family to become Catholic. I think it would be complete miracle because I think it's so unlikely. Oh my gosh. Hi, Trevor. I'm so happy right now. So many people here wrote that they'll pray for me, and now Lizzie too. Oh, yeah, we love you. We're like a family. Okay, Jack, could you pray for me? Because I'm discerning priesthood. Okay, Jack, pray discerning priesthood. I think it would be so cool if you become a priest. Like, every time I see a priest, I want to be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for being a priest. You're amazing. I love priests so much, like every time. And I always think they'll think I'm crazy because since I'm new, church authority is so exciting to me. Like it's so freaking cool that the apostolic succession of the priest being consecrated as priest and able to consecrate the Eucharist goes all the way back to Jesus and the 12 apostles. It's insane. It's so freaking cool. Like sometimes I cry when I think about apostolic succession because it's so freaking cool. And then literally having that in a priest. Oh my gosh, I have a story to share with you guys. So at the Catholic retreat I was at, there were like so many priests there. So we did daily mass and there would be like 8 priests up at the table, all consecrating the Eucharist together, like all saying it together. And like obviously one priest was the one to like pray over it, but they were all kind of like saying the prayers together. It was so powerful. Okay, we're almost at 2 hours. I'm gonna quit at 2 hours, I think. You should come to our annual Lady of Perpetual Help pilgrimage. It's August 17th through 9th. Oh, I really wish I could, but I already have plans for then. 74 million Catholic Americans, only 23% go to Mass. Any advice to get these Catholics back to Mass? So I think if you are Catholic and have friends who are Catholic or family who are Catholic, get them more excited and passionate about Christianity and pray for them and talk to them about it and get them more excited about it. I think that when we think of like complex issues in the world, we should be focusing on like our inner circle. You have the most influence over the people you live with, your family, your best friends. So just focus on affecting them instead of like making huge global changes. You know what I mean? Like I remember a sermon I heard when I was in college that stuck with me. He said, what matters the most is how you treat your roommates. So just focus on that. Okay, I'm missing so many things. What are your thoughts on atheism? So I think it's objectively wrong. I'll pray for your family. Oh, thank you. A Catholic Mom's. Oh, yeah. I watch her videos. You guys should subscribe to her at Catholic Mom's Life. She's like the purest person ever. Like, I don't know, like I feel essences from people and it's just like so pure and loving and like, yeah. have you tried giving your parents one of Trent Horn's books, like The Case for Catholicism? No. Like, I cannot give them Catholic apologetics books. It would, like, make things so much worse. Like, things are finally getting better with them, like, really good. Like, I'm hanging out with my dad this summer. We're doing, like, a road trip together. So if I did something like that, like, it would make things worse. But yeah, thank you so much, anyone who's been praying for me and my family, because things have completely turned around with my dad within the past, like, 2 weeks, where, like, we're able to talk on the phone and it not be super awkward and have, like, actual conversation. Like, finally, like, we're becoming, like, normal, like, he's in my life again. So thank you so much if anyone prayed. Okay, we're at 2 hours. I'm gonna leave really soon. Okay, real quick. You should look more into the SSPX. They didn't break away from the church. So I recommend watching Church Militant's videos on that, the Vortex, if you're confused and tempted to join the SSPX, but they are a schismatic group and they are not under the Pope. So it is not Catholic. Okay, I don't know if I want to say that. If it's not Catholic, like, it looks Catholic, but it's not under the Pope. So it's not a valid mass. Advice for someone who really struggles with the sacrament of confession. It's really difficult for me. I always end up avoiding it. Oh my gosh, me too. It's so hard for me to go to confession. And I think I've been thinking about this a lot because I deal with emotions by myself. Like, if I'm dealing with something, I'll, like, cry about it, talk to God about it, and then, like, the next day or, like, a week later be like, oh, so, like, a week ago I went through this. So I'll, like, tell people about it. But it's so weird because, like, with Myers-Briggs, there's extroverted emotion and introverted. There's extroverted feeling and introverted feeling. So even though I'm ESTJ, I'm introverted feeling. So I deal with all my emotions by myself. So it's completely counter to my personality to immediately go to confession after something happens. But, like, usually I'll go, like, a week later or something. But what's really cool that has made me want to go more is I've read some of the church fathers will talk about confession as, like, healing. So, like, God is the great physician, and they're like, go to confession because it is healing. And so don't think of it as, like, oh, I have to go because it's a sacrament because I did some sin, but think of it as, like, healing for your soul. And I don't know, the priest, like, gave me really good advice. I went to confession a few days ago, and he, like, told me that I should just start praying that God would give me more of a desire for God. Does that make sense? So pray to have more desire to love God and to know him more and to pray more. And so that was just, like, really simple, but, like, the wisest advice ever. Okay. What is the best Disney movie in terms of themes of Catholic theology? I don't really like movies, so I'm not the person to ask. Opinion on curse words. Oh my gosh, I have a video script written on curse words. Look out for that in the next few weeks. I hope you have a wonderful night. God bless. You too. Good night. Anything else? Greetings from Ireland. You're a breath of fresh air. Oh, that means so much. Love you. Lizzie, do you know that... Okay. Time out. Oh my gosh, I love putting people in timeout. You feel so powerful. Lizzie, do you know you can go straight to God in prayer? Yeah, I go straight to God in prayer. That's what I was just talking about. Where when I'm dealing with an emotion, I just talk to God about it rather than other people. That's how I pray. I just talk to God about things. That's, like, my go-to. You could never... Why are there over 4,500 religions? Good night, Lizzie's Answers. Good night. Love you. Greetings from Mexico. Hi. Shout out to my best friend, Josh. Aw. Yeah, I remember Josh. What do you think about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette? Okay, I need to leave. You guys are leaving so many questions. Okay, so I watched The Bachelorette, like, back in, like, 2010 maybe. I thought it was interesting, but I think it's kind of, like, doesn't have that much depth to it. So that's kind of why I don't watch TV. I don't think it has that much, like, depth. I don't think it's, like, leading to my flourishing as a person, you know? Bye. Do you think you suck at praying? Like, I feel like I'm horrible at it. I don't know, but thoughts on that? If you, like, YouTube search Lizzie's Answers prayer, I have a whole video on, like, how to pray. And If you also YouTube search Lizzie's Answers, Connecting with God, I have like a 15-minute video explaining how I pray. It's the one that's like super edited where I'm wearing like a hot pink shirt. That video, like look it up, and I explain like for 15 minutes like how I pray. It's like reading the Bible and like praying over Bible verses and stuff. Good night, Lizzie. May Jesus and Mary be with you. Aw. When will you go live again? I don't know. Next weekend? What do you guys want? Do you read much fiction? I did when I was really little. I still do sometimes. Actually, my sister reads a lot of fiction, so she like gives me books to read and like book ideas. So I really love this one book. It was talking about racism in America. It was called The Hate You Give. It was so good. It's being made into a movie. I love that character. The protagonist in the book, I wish there were more books on it. You should do a video on your Pepperdine experience, Olivia. I have a playlist with 50 plus videos on my Pepperdine experience. Go watch. Okay. God bless you. Thank you for sharing. What are you currently reading? This? Because like I said, I'm reading through the Catholic books that were taken out by the Protestants. And then my patron saints. How to save yourself for marriage in college and how to maintain healthy relationships. Okay. I might make I don't know. I made a video pretty recently on like reasons to stay a virgin, but maybe I should make like a video on advice. I don't know. I'm a very like logical, rational person and not impulsive at all, not hedonistic. So it's been so easy for me to stay celibate. Like I've never ever been tempted to not be celibate, if that makes sense. Like it's like so logical. Like even like with my boyfriend who I love, like I don't want us to have sex because we're not married. Like literally, like it's so simple. It's just like a logic proof, you know? Thanks for the chat tonight. Needed it to feel less alone. Oh, okay. Wait, what's your name? I'll pray for you to feel less alone. That makes me so happy. You guys are not alone. Do you guys know that movie? You are not alone. Like that musical. Oh my god, Carpenter is going to be in The Hate You Give. Oh, that's so exciting. Which character is she playing? Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see the movie. I really need to go. Are you watching the World Cup? I'm not into sports at all. Like sometimes I like watching baseball if it's like I don't know, like I like smaller sports. Like at my undergrad I would watch some of the games. I like watching volleyball too and women's gymnastics, but nothing else. I feel like if you find the person that's right for you, they will respect your choice to stay pure and help you with that goal. Yeah, exactly. Like my best friend's dating a non-Christian and they don't have sex. And he doesn't pressure her at all. If you love someone, you wouldn't. Hey Lizzie, I just recently found you and subscribed. I'd love for you to pray for me. Jillian! Okay. One of my best friends from college is named Jillian. To regain my Catholic faith and also get out of my depression. Okay. Get out of depression. So what you should do is go get mental health treatment, like go to a therapist and psychiatrist. Like, I mean, you probably watched a lot of my videos on depression and maybe like know all of this, but okay, I have videos of help too. But like I know for me, like my depression is so severe without medication, like it's impossible for me to get out of it. Like it would just like continue forever, you know? So that's why meds are so great. Lizzie, right now you are literally the definition of the Fellowship of the Saints. Oh, how? Because I'm praying for you guys? We're all the Fellowship of the Saints together. Koinonia. Koinonia is a Greek word, family like love. It's like the koinonia. I just want to share. Okay. Are you going to watch the movie Pope Francis, a Man of His Word? Probably not, because I don't really like to watch movies. It sounds good though, if you're into movies. Lizzie, please pray for my ex-girlfriend. Okay. Dana. So your ex-girlfriend, Dana. I want her to know more about the Catholic Church. I totally support praying for your exes. I know for me, I went through a really bad breakup in college, and it was, like, so comforting that, like, even though I would never reach out to him, because it would, like, hurt both of us to, like, talk to each other, you can pray to God for them, and you, like, really, really impact their life. Like, okay, this is so wild. I just thought of this. So, like, I remember I would, like, prayed specifically for my ex to, like he did, like, a study abroad program to, like, become best friends with, like, one of the guys there because he felt like his first year he didn't, like, form, like, really close friendships. So I literally prayed for this very specific thing, and then it happened. And so it's so cool, like, you can, like, literally affect their life and still care about someone even if they're not part of your life, like, even if you had to cut off someone or you broke up with someone, like, you can still be part of their life because of fellowship of the saints, because of praying. And then in heaven, none of it will matter, and we'll all be best friends with each other. Okay, would you encourage people to read The Hate U Give? Yeah, it's so freaking good, it's so good. It's amazing. 'Cause, the main character in it, she's Black, but she goes to a mostly white school, so she talks about how she has to, like, hide part of her personality at her school. She can't be fully herself. It's just so interesting, but it's a really, really, really good book. Um, okay, I think I'm gonna go soon. Prayer is so powerful, Bella. Yeah, it's so powerful. Like, if you pray intensely intercessory for other people, like, you will see God's intervention. It's so cool. You are like a modern day Mother Teresa? No, I'm nothing compared to her. She's, like, put her in her life. Yeah. Um, a Discord channel would be great to discuss with your community. Bella Rose, so true. I can't wait to meet you in heaven. Oh, I love you guys so much. Did you get engaged to your boyfriend yet? No, we've only been dating for a year actually, and both of us think that it's kind of crazy to get engaged after only a year. So we're not gonna get engaged like anytime soon. So don't expect that. um, I followed you from a few months till now, and I really love you. How does it feel praying to a statue? I don't pray to a statue. So here I don't even know if I wanna, like, address that. So here's the thing. So, like, it's kind of like how, like, my best friend Nicole will pray together. So, like I said, we don't pray to saints. We do, but we don't believe the saint has the power to intervene. We believe God does, and we're asking the saint to pray for us. That's it. And so the pictures, like the images and statues, are just to remind us of the people, just like how you have pictures of your family in your home. That's kind of it. Um, so I'll explain to you exactly how it feels praying to a statue. So, like, if I see the statue of Mary and I'm asking her to pray to God for me, I also pray to God myself. But I also ask other people to pray for me, just like how I ask people to pray for me in the world. It just like makes like I like statues and pictures and stuff because it makes you remember that it's like a real person. The same reason I like at mass looking up and seeing Jesus on the cross because it's like, oh yeah, like Jesus was a physical person. Like it just makes it feel more tangible and real. So that's how it feels. Like it feels more alive and real, so much more vivid and alive than Protestantism felt since I started researching into Orthodox and Catholicism. It feels so vivid and tangible in a way I never ever felt before. Like it's just it permeates your inner being that Jesus was a real person physically on earth. And it's amazing. So I absolutely love statues and icons because it reminds you that all of it is real, that all of these people are real and they're in heaven right now, even more alive than we are on earth. So it feels amazing praying to statues. Okay. Do you think you will do a video on orthodoxy? I've done so many videos on them. Just search for them. Okay. Okay. Do you venerate both icons and statues? I don't really venerate, like, by veneration, you mean, like, kiss the statue or icon? Like, I'll do that if we're doing that at mass, but which would you choose to go to would you choose to go to the Bahamas for a week, all expenses paid, or meeting the Pope, all expenses paid? Definitely meeting the Pope. Is that a question? One of my friends said that most mental disorders are fake. They're demons tricking you into believing that it's real. I've heard that hundreds of times from people online. It's kind of ridiculous. Mostly just people like are not aware of basic science. Is this true? Yeah, obviously no, it's not true. Like if you read the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistic Manual of Psychiatry, it will tell you. Lizzie is a superhero. Oh, I love you. Vivid? I don't even know what that's like anymore. Erlyn, are you in depression? Connor, why are you paying? What? Someone said they want to red pill me. I don't think you guys understand. Like, I know exactly what the red pill is, and I understand the arguments, and I even agree with it in some ways. So it's like nothing that I don't already know. She's gonna be playing Haley. Some of her fans are upset about that because Haley's racist. But she said in a recent interview that someone needs to portray her because many people are like that. Yeah. And I think the term racist is really, really strong. I think that, like, when I hear the word racist, I think of someone who literally hates. And so I think a lot of people, we have like subliminal racism within us. Like, I think everyone does. I think a lot of us have subliminal sexism within us. Like, I do. Sometimes in my life, I felt negative about women's ability just because it's like how we are. And so I think we all just need to accept that like we may have that within us. And so we just need to deal with it and become super self-aware and educate ourselves. So yeah, I totally agree. Oh, you have hardcore bipolar depression? Erlyn. Okay, I'll pray for you. I know what you're going through. It's absolute hell. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. You should go on more meds. Because I'm on so many meds right now, and it's like I feel like myself, in severe depression, bipolar. Keep holding on. Like, please do not kill yourself. Because I've dealt with that so much with suicidal thoughts, but it totally gets better. There's so many different medicines. Like, it is not a permanent thing at all. What really has helped me is in Catholicism, learning to unite our struggles with Christ. And it helps us to, like, even be more united with Christ, because when Jesus was on the cross and he says, my God, why have you abandoned me? It's exactly how you feel right now and how I felt so much in depression, where we feel like God is not with us and we don't feel anything. So Jesus felt that exact emotion when he was on the cross. And so we are so close to him and he's so close to us in that, even though we can't feel him. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that though. It's absolute hell. Can you do a makeup tutorial? I've done many makeup tutorials, so just YouTube search Lizzie's Answers makeup. But I could do an updated one. How do I get out of thing? Okay. How do I get out of the thing where I feel like a spectator of yourself in your life? So derealization and depersonalization in mental illness, where you feel like the world isn't real around you, or you feel like outside of your own brain. You just need to be on meds to get rid of that, for sure. Like, nothing else will get rid of it besides meds. Would you rather be Byzantine or Roman Catholic? Both. But I love Byzantine so much, but both are beautiful. We should do a live stream prayer session at the next live stream. Just pray together. What book in the Bible was hardest for you? In like Romans 8, when it talks about predestination and stuff, that was hard for me to understand. But I don't know, I love the Bible. I don't like, none of it is like that hard for me to understand. Can you make a video about the 4 dogmas of Mary? Yeah, I'm gonna make more videos about Mary for sure. That's in the works. Have you considered Eastern Catholicism? Yeah. I've said like dozens of times I would attend Byzantine Catholic if it was near me. It's just not. To Red the band, their songs are so inspiring, and Skillet. Oh, Vincent, so crazy story. I was actually met these 2 guys yesterday for like the acting thing I did, and they mentioned Red, and I literally thought of you. So yeah, that just happened. Numbers was super hard for me. Okay, yeah, that's true. I don't know, I read numbers when I was, like, 9, and I had a much bigger attention span when I was 9 than I do now. Okay, who are your okay, I think I'm gonna go. I saw the Xbox in your last video, do you play? No, I don't, like, it's just to you know how you can, like, do Netflix and YouTube through Xbox? That's all that it is for, it's not for gaming at all. Okay, so I love all of you so much. I'm gonna go because it's so late. I need to sleep and go to mass to get tomorrow. It's like 9:30 here. But I love you guys so much. I will pray for everyone on this. I'm so excited to pray for you guys. And hopefully I'll do another live stream next weekend or the week after. Will this video be posted? Yeah. So it's gonna be on my YouTube, so you can watch from the beginning if you want to. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!